Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Meteorologist Joe Hansel here. Continue to be weather aware of all these rounds of this rain. Unfortunately, we did see some record and extreme rain over the weekend in this brutal August so far. Charleston, 4.23 inches of rain just yesterday. That would be a daily record, a new one-day record wettest day for August, and a second wettest day all time in the Charleston record book. Flood watches continue all day today and until 2 a.m. tomorrow in Charleston, but a lot of us have flood watches too. Still watching for that potential of excessive rain leading to additional flooding, and the ground is essentially saturated for a number of spots. We have rain likely today and tonight, then a break, and then another chance of showers I'm watching for Thursday later this week. There's up to a slight risk for widely scattered additional flash flooding that's possible today, and keep eyes on streams and rivers too. Some areas to the northeast, a few spots are posting minor flood stage this morning. There's also a marginal risk of isolated damaging winds that are possible with storms this afternoon, then a little bit of a break tomorrow. Fly Saver forecast, it starts at home. Areas of Florida and the Carolinas have concerns with heat. Charlotte, 98 would be a daily record high down there today. From Panhandle to Panhandle, highs near 80. Chance of showers and storms. Eastern areas, 70s in the high elevations. Mid to upper 80s for the eastern Panhandle. Across northern areas, watching showers and storms. Southern areas, watching showers and storms. 87 in Huntington, 79 in Bluefield. Charleston near 85. Still a likely chance of showers and storms after our extreme rain yesterday. Continue to be weather aware. Remember, turn around, don't drown. Tuesday, Wednesday, likely dry. Thursday, showers and storms are likely. And I'll watch for some potential chances of showers and storms for the very end of the week and the weekend.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
The summer of storms continues. This time, Kanawha County hit hard. Fayette County hit. Counties in central West Virginia hit hard. We'll cover it all. This is Metro News Talkline. We are underway.
Do not attempt to change the station. You are surrounded. We interrupt this program to bring you an emergency news bulletin. Repeat, this is an emergency bulletin. Keep your radio turned on.
From the studios of WVRC Media and the Metro News Radio and Television Network, the voice of West Virginia, comes the most powerful show in West Virginia. This is Metro News Talkline with Dave Wilson and TJ Meadows.
Check set line up link. Activated Telos telephone. Switch network control from Charleston to Morgantown.
Stand by. Q Dave and TJ. You're on. Metro News Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Welcome inside the Encova Insurance Studios. Dave in Morgantown, TJ in Charleston. Jake runs the video side of things, and Sophia handles the audio. 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. That's the phone number. Text the show at 304-TALK-304. Those are your 2 ways to be part of the program. Say good morning to all of our great radio affiliates across the state of West Virginia. We certainly appreciate you letting us be part of your day, or if you're watching in on the Metro News TV app, Facebook Live, and YouTube Live. Don't forget, download the app, put it on your smart TV or mobile device, and take Metro News television programming with you anywhere you go. Coming up a little bit later, we'll get the latest. We'll at least end this chapter in the saga we've coined as the Greenbrier turns. Brad McElhinny will join us. We'll detail that agreement that was signed with Kennedy Lewis Investment Management coming up. That was signed back on Friday. Brad will join us bottom of the hour. C.W. Sigman with Kanawha County Emergency Management. He'll join us in the second hour. We'll get an update on that flash flooding and the damage left behind from it in Kanawha County. We'll also get into this controversial story involving the conditions on the USS Abraham Lincoln an aircraft carrier that's been deployed since November. We'll get into that in the second hour as well. Lots to do. As always, say good morning to TJ Meadows in the Charleston Bureau. Got a lot of rain down that way last couple of days, TJ.
A lot of rain off and on all day yesterday. And I have to tell you, looking at some of these images at WVMetroNews.com, Jeff in his story has one up near Kanawha Falls, was just up that way last weekend with the kids doing the waterfall trail. And my goodness, I mean, the road is completely washed out. This bridge near the falls, some of these images, the flooding that we see in people's homes. I mean, it's just another hard hit, Dave, and it's hard to look at some of these images, I tell you.
Friend of the show, Steve Adams, had a video posted of the street going by his house looked like a new river was running by.
Yeah.
Had a friend in Harrison County, small creek running by his house. Water in Harrison County was up around the garage, was getting into his garage over the weekend. So another weekend of, we can't just get a nice little shower, steady rain. We get deluges, and it's all because of Bryan Hughes, who's the Metro News meteorologist who joins us from the Encova Insurance Studios in Charleston. I kid, Bryan, but man, we just keep getting walloped by these storms this summer.
We do, and I can tell you this. There's an entire generation of people who are roughly 25 years old and younger that have never been through a true El Nino, in which one that they would at least remember. And we're now in the El Nino phase, fully square on into it, in which the Atlantic hurricane cycle is significantly suppressed. So we may only get a couple of Atlantic big storms or named storms. Let's say named. There's been a few of them named, but as far as the big ones are concerned, it's going to be very limited. But this is what happens: is we see significant rainfall, and it's not just kind of like the 2016. We always go. 2016 floods are a great marker. Sadly, they're a great marker to talk about what happens when you get just a massive storm system that impacts you, and you get it all at once. Whereas we've had some of that, but it keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. High pressure sits over the south, the deep south, the southwest, and we're in the ring of fire. Around that high pressure, we get wave after wave out of the northwest of showers and thunderstorms that happen. And it brings us severe threats. It brings us flash flooding threats. But this El Nino definitely showing it's a warmer summer, and it's a very wet summer.
So given the amount of rain that we had yesterday, I think Yeager was reporting a little over 3 inches. If I recall, you can nail that down for me.
Yeah.
Given the fact that we've had one large event in the last month, but it seems like we've had more and more rain, more frequent rain throughout the summer. What role does saturation of the ground play?
It's funny you mentioned that, because that's literally what I have pulled up here on my laptop. And the saturation, and this is it's called it's the flash crest soil saturation, and it shows that in Kanawha County, especially eastern Kanawha County, into downtown Charleston, and on down into Fayette, Raleigh, back into sections of Nicholas County, and you get back up to the Randolph-Tucker counties. Our saturation is well over 86%. So
put that into context.
And when you put that into context, that means the water has no place to go. The ground cannot absorb it. So when you can't absorb it, we're looking at it would take within in an hour, it would take just half an inch worth of rain to cause significant flooding. So, the storms that happened this afternoon, any of those areas where, yesterday we had over a foot of rainfall falling across parts of Fayette and Raleigh counties. Man. A foot of rain. Now, the majority of that was concentrated into the morning, where you had about 6 inches of it, and then it was spread out through the rest of the day, but still over a foot of rain yesterday. When you look at what's happening there, Fayette, Raleigh, back into parts of Summers, get down to parts of Monroe, and then you get back up to Nicholas and Boone County as well, and then you have Randolph-Tucker, back up sections of Greenbrier. Those areas are highly prone to any shower or storm moving across it and causing flash flooding today.
Metro News meteorologist Bryan Hughes joining us in the Encova Insurance Studios in Charleston. What areas around Kanawha County were you keeping an eye on the last 24 hours?
Well, really, as you get upriver of where I am, obviously I'm in Kanawha City, and I look at that personally because, first of all, we had Campbell's Creek significant flooding there. Now, we're not talking everybody's flooded out of their homes, but there's power lines down, there's trees down, there's water that's still running pretty high. I just had a friend of mine, Taryn Conklin. She was driving through much of that this morning, sent me a bunch of videos. I'll have those posted on my social media here within the next 30 minutes or so. We've got that eastern parts of Kanawha County. I'm concerned about southern Kanawha County as well. Anywhere in Fayette County. Anywhere. And I'm talking about, we have near 87 to 90% saturation around Fayetteville. I mean, I see 88.4% saturation. There is no place for that water to go. If it rains in Fayetteville, if it rains 1/10 of an inch, you'll start to see flooding. That's what we're looking at right there. All around the New River Gorge National Park and Preserve, we have all that area back over to Whitesville and Boone County, just north of Beckley. You get into Beckley. Beckley's actually pretty decent. Beckley's pretty okay, but you go north of there, it's a problem. Raynell, those are going to be issues. Get up to Webster Springs, just south of Webster Springs, that's a problem. Back over to Elkins, Beverly, you get to Mill Creek, Pickens, Helvetia, back up there across parts of the Cleveland area, Mill Creek, as I mentioned, Montrose, back up there just east of west of Parsons, just south of Kalamazoo. Those, and by the way, these are very small communities that I am mentioning. Those who are in those areas know where they are. But we have significant saturation.
Perhaps a futile question, but is there anything people can do to deal with the high saturation levels? I mean, is there any preemptive action that people can take to try to mitigate the rain?
There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing you can do. The best thing you can do is prepare. If you know that you're in a low-lying area, just make sure you're ready. Because that's a lot of what we were seeing yesterday. Of course, we also saw yesterday, in Kanawha County and in Charleston itself, Matthews Avenue, Garrison Avenue. You saw on the edge.
Looked like rivers.
Oh, massive rivers. And Jeff Jenkins, corporate news director for us, his mother, she's lived in her spot there across parts of Fayette County for 61 years. She said she's never. And that's the thing. When you get the old timers, and respectfully, I say this.
Sure.
When you get the old timers saying, I've never seen it like this, and she's lived there 61 years. That means this is significant. So, you just, with the saturation levels that we have now, just make sure you're prepared. If you got to go to higher ground, you got to go to higher ground. And if you say, I saw it once this time back in 19 whatever, remember that you saw it back then. It can happen again if you've not seen it since then.
We're going to dry out anytime soon? Do we get a break, or is there more rain on the way?
Well, we have Tuesday and Wednesday that we're going to dry out. Tuesday, 20% chance for a shower across the state. Best chance in the morning for that. We've got a round that's going to happen this afternoon into this evening and tonight. And when I say around, there's going to be chances of rain all across the state for going into this afternoon, this evening, tonight. You could get 2 or 3 rounds of storms passing by, but we've got to watch for that. Then we go into the overnight hours, maybe a stray sprinkle shower or so, and then best chance tomorrow be in the morning. And after that, we're drying out. Drying out into Wednesday. Thursday, we get another round of showers and storms. Here's what I am seeing. Mike Nolte, he and I were talking this morning, and I went and did a much deeper dive into the long-range forecast models. And all the way into Labor Day weekend, we've got chances of showers and storms about every 3 or 4 days, if not closer on that. But also what I saw in the Atlantic was one storm, and it stays way off to the east of the U.S. Doesn't even come close to the mainland territory. And what that shows me is I was saying high pressure setting up across the Atlantic. Even a Bermuda high is the worst thing we can see, because you've got storm systems that'll come cross from the west, northwest, move across West Virginia, and then they take off to the northeast. But that means round after round of shower and storm chances if we get that high pressure setting up across parts of the Atlantic. If there's high pressure in Texas and Oklahoma, and if there's high pressure across Bermuda, parts of the Atlantic, that just means we get shower and storm chances over and over again. And the worst thing you can have is a Gulf system develop and then come up across the deep south into our neighborhoods.
Play a segment here. Ask your meteorologist. Text into the line here. That's interesting. A texter talks about the fact, and I've heard this too, that we're in extreme drought and it rains every day in the Eastern Panhandle. I mean, is that still the case, or we're done with that now? Right?
No, we're done with that now. The drought typically develops over the winter. And then we go into spring, and if we don't have a robust spring rain shower storms, then we get into summer, and then it's exacerbated as we get into July and August, and even into September. And what we had over the past 3 to 5 years was that pattern. We get into March, April, May, and even the part of June, and we couldn't overcome the drought from the previous year, and so then we just tack on to it and kept on getting worse and worse. But now we've well overcome that, and the fact that we've had what is going to be the wettest July and wettest August, this time period, this 2-month time period on record. Now you're going to look at going into this fall, and there's no deficit. So, and plus we're going to look at probably a more robust winter season anyways, with El Nino still in place. So, it's
snow and ice and snow.
Snow and ice and snow, power outages, school closings, cancellations. Who knows? School may go into June.
Good Lord.
Well, you're just full of good news today, Bryan.
This is what I'm here for. I'm here to tell you about the doomsday scenarios. So prep it now.
MetroNews meteorologist Bryan Hughes, full of good news.
I'm sorry.
All right. Appreciate it as always, Bryan. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
304-TALK-304. That's the text line, 800-765-8255, the phone number. We're back in a moment.
They say you can't take the lottery with you. But now, you can play anywhere, anytime with iPlay, the West Virginia Lottery's official app. From Cooper's Rock to the Greenbrier River, from the bleachers to your living room, iPlay goes where you do. Safe, simple, and always West Virginia proud. Play anywhere, anytime. Download iPlay today. iPlay, the fun, secure way to play, wherever life takes you. 18 plus to play responsibly.
It's the WVRC Media Cares for Kids Radiothon this Thursday and Friday, raising money to support the incredible care provided by WVU Medicine Golisano Children's. From life-saving treatments to the little comforts that help make a child's stay a little easier. Your donation helps keep those programs going. Now, you can text the word WVU Kids to 34984 for a link to donate via credit or debit, PayPal, Apple Pay, or Venmo. It's the WVRC Media Cares for Kids Radiothon supporting WVU Medicine Golisano Children's this Thursday and Friday.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Football season begins right here on Metro News Television. Join us Thursday, August 27th for the 2026 WVSSAC kickoff game. Presented by the Army National Guard. The Cameron Dragons battle the Clay Battelle Seabees live from Blacksville. Don't miss the first kickoff of the new season, the 2026 WVSSAC kickoff game. Thursday, August 27th at 7 p.m. Pre-game coverage starts at 6:30 p.m. Powered by GoMart, only on Metro News Television.
Need a truck that's ready for work, weekends, and everything in between? Right now at Kanawha GMC, get up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierra 1500, or save up to $4,000 off all new GMC Canyon Elevations, offering bold styles, advanced technology, and everyday practicality. Come explore our all-new GMC Yukons, built for busy families and big adventures. All this and more at Kanawha GMC in Bridgeport. Shop Thorold.
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniel's Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
I think many people have a misconception that all that we do is infertility care, and that's not the case. Reproductive health matters whether or not you're trying to conceive. So we can be dealing with endometriosis, ovulation dysfunction, PCOS. You're getting linked up with all the specialties that you need to optimize your care. And being an advocate for your reproductive health is important. The most rewarding times that I have is when I'm empowering people to take control of their health.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
304 Talk 304. Hey guys, did you happen to see the Facebook post of the young hero who rescued 2 drowning pigs from rising floodwaters in Mount Carbon? It seems CBS News saw it. Please bless this young man, and people, please do not leave animals behind when you evacuate. Actually, I had not seen this post until you pointed it out, Texter, but I appreciate you doing it. Yeah, young man went back for the piglets, it looks like there.
Good for him.
Good
I
on
had not seen that either.
Well done. Well done, young man. Said the pigs are fine, by the way, in the post. The pigs were fine. Okay. We'll call him out here, but it's okay. It's Bryan. He can handle it. Several of you did catch it is Helvetia. We all know it's Helvetia. Bryan knows it's Helvetia. But it's kind of like John Belushi making a speech in Animal House, TJ. When the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor, you just let him go. You know, he was on a roll. You just let him go.
Forget it. He's rolling.
He's rolling. When Bryan starts giving you weather and starts naming off every small town that can be affected, just let him go.
I told him. He said, "What did I say?" I said, "I don't know, dude." It wasn't Helvetia, though. He's like, "Oh, I got it." So he was going home apparently last night. You know, he lives on a boat on a river. He's very public about that, so I'm not letting any cats out of the bag. He said he heard a loud bang yesterday evening. He thought, "Oh my goodness, what now?" And he went out, and I guess with the rising waters, a refrigerator had somehow found its way into the canal and slammed into the side of his boat. So he was going home to clear away
a refrigerator
that is near the side of his boat.
My goodness. We will get an update from Kanawha County Emergency Management Director C.W. Sigman going to join us at the top of next hour. We'll get an update on what areas of the county they're keeping an eye on. There have been dozens of swiftwater rescues. The volunteer fire department in Philippi up in Barber County, I know had to deal with multiple high water incidents, including they had to rescue an individual from a home. Their home was surrounded by water. Had to use a rescue boat to get to that home. So we will get you an update there. Also, a couple of news and notes here over at WVMetroNews.com. There was a small plane crash in Jackson County over the weekend. Pilots survived. Pratt and Whitney, Canada, by the way. Contract, a $1 billion contract expansion announced at North Central West Virginia Airport in Clarksburg. A man charged with murder in a fatal bar fight, 24-year-old Tyrone Washington Jr. of Culloden, arrested in connection with a fatal altercation in Kanawha County. Was that Kanawha County or right on the other side of the county line there? I know
it's actually in Putnam County. It's a St. Albans address, but it's over the border there on 817 as you're heading toward I-64. So it's technically in Putnam County.
And higher education reports showing an increase in FAFSA submissions. First day of school tomorrow up here in our neck of the woods. Kids, is it Putnam County this week, or they're late arrivers, aren't they?
We go next week in Putnam County. I think Kanawha started today. At least I'm not sure. Maybe the flooding, I didn't check, had some delays, but I thought they started today. So, yeah, systems are trickling back in. Had a few start, last week?
Yep. Marshall start class today? First day of class. WVU's tomorrow. I just know that because they're all over town.
Did Marshall start today? I think they did. I think Marshall did start today. Yes.
It's back to school.
My wife, I'm trying to think here. Carry the one.
Well, clearly you did not do a back-to-school photo for your wife this morning.
I don't do that.
You don't do the back-to-school? Back-to-school, first day of school.
I do it with my kids. I don't do it with my wife. I mean, I guess if she wanted a back-to-school photo, we could do that. But, yes, students did go back to Marshall today. Bat phone, Kanawha County starts Wednesday, so my apologies. It starts Wednesday.
Let me see. Texter says, do you think you could check with someone from the school board to see if they're going to delay that a day or so because of the flooding? We can effort that. We'll certainly effort that as the morning unfolds. Also, Brad McElhinny going to join us a couple of minutes from now. The deal is done. The Greenbrier deal, the Justice family of businesses striking that deal with Kennedy Lewis Investment Management for the $500 million financing deal to pay off Omni. The Justice family businesses will retain 49% ownership. Kennedy Lewis gets 51%. And I guess, TJ, it's all good in the neighborhood, at least for now, as far as the future of the Greenbrier goes.
Well, I took a look at the gentleman that's going to be chair of the board, Lloyd Nathan, and man, what a rock star.
He's got a heck of a resume, doesn't he?
A heck of a resume. I mean, this guy's done a lot, including in the executive levels at MGM. Now, I saw some comments, oh, great, he's just going to turn it into a Las Vegas resort. They were pretty clear in their press release. That's not what they're going to do. But whether you're running a huge hotel in Las Vegas, Macau, wherever, and this guy's done it all over the place. And by the way, he's turned around distressed assets before, like the Greenbrier. A lot of confidence. I mean, the resume, if history is any indication, this should be good for the Greenbrier, and we should see investment. It didn't take long for the politics to come out, though, in all of this. I saw some jabs at justice from certain government leaders. I'll just leave it at that. Look to be jabs. You know, it's kind of one of those things. I'm going to slip this in here and see if anybody notices it kind of thing. I think we noticed the knife getting turned a little bit. So what's that mean for the politics of the situation? Does Jim Justice now get a little more vocal about his political future now that the Greenbrier is settled? So, you know, I guess we'll have a new plot in As the Greenbrier Turns, but we'll still call it As the Greenbrier Turns, perhaps. I don't know.
I think this is just the end of season 2. We'll go into season 3 coming up. But to your point, the political side of this has been that thing that's looming out here with, 20 seconds to go, that needed to be settled so we could get to the next question of what does Jim Justice's political future hold? Does he come back? Does he stay in Washington? What's he want to do? This was one of those things that had to be settled first before moving on to that particular question.
Yeah, and look, his opponents will play it as a failure. He'll play it as a victory. Look, the Greenbrier's open. I'm a glass half full kind of guy. Good. We move on.
This is Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. It is 10:30 and time for a news update. Let's check in with the Metro News Radio Network, find out what's happening across the great state of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Meteorologist Joe Hansel here. Continue to be weather aware of all these rounds of this rain. Unfortunately, we did see some record and extreme rain over the weekend in this brutal August so far. Charleston, 4.23 inches of rain just yesterday. That would be a daily record, a new one-day record wettest day for August, and a second wettest day all time in the Charleston record book. Flood watches continue all day today and until 2 a.m. tomorrow in Charleston, but a lot of us have flood watches too. Still watching for that potential of excessive rain leading to additional flooding, and the ground is essentially saturated for a number of spots. We have rain likely today and tonight, then a break, and then another chance of showers I'm watching for Thursday later this week. There's up to a slight risk for widely scattered additional flash flooding that's possible today, and keep eyes on streams and rivers too. Some areas to the northeast, a few spots are posting minor flood stage this morning. There's also a marginal risk of isolated damaging winds that are possible with storms this afternoon, then a little bit of a break tomorrow. Fly saver forecast, it starts at home. Areas of Florida and the Carolinas have concerns with heat. Charlotte, 98 would be a daily record high down there today. From Panhandle to Panhandle, highs near 80. Chance of showers and storms. Eastern areas, 70s in the high elevations. Mid to upper 80s for the eastern Panhandle. Across northern areas, watching showers and storms. Southern areas, watching showers and storms. 87 in Huntington, 79 in Bluefield. Charleston near 85. Still a likely chance of showers and storms after our extreme rain yesterday. Continue to be weather aware. Remember, turn around, don't drown. Tuesday, Wednesday, likely dry. Thursday, showers and storms are likely. And I'll watch for some potential chances of showers and storms for the very end of the week and the weekend.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
Hey, I take offense of that.
Why would you do that? Because on midday, the last segment, the first thing I hear when those mics go on is you just coughing, and I'm just like, this guy.
You don't appreciate me giving that show a little ratings boost at the end, a little boom boom?
You coughing directly onto these microphones? No, I don't want it.
I don't know where this came from.
Everybody.
I'm in another room, guys. I don't know.
Everybody.
Hey, Coop,
I'm just watching this.
Hotline on Metro News Television.
304 Talk 304. That is the text line. You can give us a call, 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. Fox's Jonathan Savage joins us second hour of the show, the latest on the Middle East and what's going on with U.S. military exercises with South Korea. North Korea is not as bad? Question mark. We'll get into all that second hour of the program. On Friday afternoon, as a matter of fact, after we had signed off the air, the deal was done, and the latest drama surrounding Senator Jim Justice and the historic Greenbrier Resort in White Sulphur Springs appears to be over. In a press release issued Friday, the Justice family announced a joint venture involving the Greenbrier with New York-based Kennedy Lewis Investment Management. Brad McElhinny has been tracking this story from the start. He joins us for the closing of this chapter of As the Greenbrier Turns. Brad, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Oh, good morning. And first off, mea culpa to host Dave Wilson, because in the middle of last week when everything was going sideways, Dave asked me, what are the chances by Monday everything's normal and we can all breathe a sigh of relief? And I said, there is no way. This has been going on all summer. No way. Yet here we are. A few bullet points. So, one remaining unknown is the business partner is Kennedy Lewis Investment Management, a distressed asset lender of New York. And we really have very little idea what their long-term vision is for the Greenbrier. However, they are now apparently in control of the board and named a person with significant history in the hospitality business, including with MGM Resorts International, Lloyd Nathan, to be chairman of the Greenbrier's board of directors. A bullet point also is that it appears that the justices and the Greenbrier are on significantly better financial footing than they were last week. A sub-bullet point that appears, as far as we can tell, to extend to the employees. Middle of last week, particularly casino workers, 90 of them would have been, I think, deeply worried about their paychecks and benefits. That appears to be stable right now. There still is, in the future, next week, the requirement for a sign-off on the changed financial structure by West Virginia Lottery, but things looking much more stable for the casino and the hotel more broadly than it was. Another bullet point. I think this is going to take a psychological adjustment, at least by the justices, because it doesn't look like they're in the driver's seat of this crown jewel of West Virginia hospitality anymore. It appears that Kennedy Lewis Investment Management has a 51% share, and the majority appointees for the board that's going to oversee the Greenbrier. Jim Justice has been, as he has indicated in his 8 years as governor and now a couple of years as senator, a CEO type and head coach of the ball team. To me, this is going to require a psychological adjustment, but he's got other things in his life. He is a U.S. senator. He coaches the ball team. Maybe he can not take his hands-on approach of the Greenbrier as he used to. He's going to have to. And then finally, if he has other political aspirations, I think this puts him in a better spot. This clears some smoke. All is good in the neighborhood. And if he wants to pursue additional political things, I think this solves a lot of problems to reach this deal.
Brad, many of the elements of the deal we may never know about because outside what is being told to the judge in this, I guess, now defunct or dismissed with prejudice federal bankruptcy case, it's a private deal, and we may not know some of these details ever, but this $500 million, do we have any idea how that was broken down between debt and what, if anything, goes into the hotel? What can you tell us in regard to that?
Mm-hmm. There's a deed now on file in Greenbrier County, and I think my flawed memory indicates that it reflects $515 million at this point, which is still ballpark, $500 million, $500 million. The most recent ask that was publicly available in the court documents from Omni, from White Sulphur Springs Holdings, was, I think, $388 million. So almost $400 million of that going to Omni. the justices, through their attorneys in the court filings, promised to pay down West Virginia state tax debt, which was somewhere around $4 or $5 million. Debt to the IRS, which was also millions of dollars, with more left over for investing in the hotel, doing, maintenance that really had lapsed for years. To what degree does what's left after you pay off White Sulphur Springs Holdings, you pay down the state tax relief, you pay down the IRS, is that enough to do the kind of maintenance that the Greenbrier really needed? I'm no expert on that matter. I think you wish it would go even further than it does.
MetroNews Statewide Correspondent Brad McElhinny joining us here. His story is at WVMetroNews.com. Brad, there before the news break, TJ and I were discussing the managing partner that you mentioned, Lloyd Nathan, and his impressive resume. Can you give us a little more background on what he brings to the board of directors and the leadership there at the Greenbrier now?
Well, yeah, I mean, the way he was described in the Greenbrier's news release is that he brings decades of experience across hospitality, gaming, which is crucial for the casino aspect, real estate, investment, and large-scale development, including that MGM Resorts International work history. I think that resume gives you some confidence that there is now an expert leading the way at the Greenbrier. Don't know quite what his situation will be. I mean, is he moving to White Sulphur Springs? Will he be elsewhere? Does he have other things on his plate? It's not quite clear to me how that works on a day-to-day basis. The casino's oversight by West Virginia Lottery, I mean, this is a partner of the state of West Virginia on the casino license, and there has been a significant amount of pushback by West Virginia Lottery to say, if we're going to have this kind of partnership, we need to know who we're getting in with. We need to vet the new members of the Greenbrier's board of directors. And I mean, to me, this name and his background, Lloyd Nathan, should inspire some confidence. And if I were putting money on it, I would bet that change is probably going to be okayed by West Virginia Lottery, and that the 90 employees of the casino are going to be okay in their ongoing wages and benefits.
Guys, maybe I'm looking at this the wrong way, but Brad, you reported, according to the lottery, that Kennedy Lewis is going to have a 51% stake. That leaves the justices 49%. This thing is valued just a little north of $1 billion based on this $500+ million payout. Look, I now own 49% of a $1 billion asset that is going to cash flow and probably be under better management and hopefully have better cash flow than it did. I've cleaned up my debt to a large degree. I still have other debt elsewhere that I want to clean up, but I kind of look at this as an okay story. I'm not going to feel sorry for the guy for owning half of $1 billion asset and still having 49% equity in that and whatever it cash flows. I mean, naysayers can say what they want. Maybe I'm being Pollyannish, but all in all, not a bad outcome is the way I look at it.
I mean, if this were the starting point, I think you would be impressed, right? Like, 49%, and you got a big player with the 51%. I think that's right. I think it clears up a lot. One financial question I might have ongoing is, if the Greenbrier was providing the dollars to ease some of the other financial pressures, particularly in the justice's coal holdings, well, where does that go from here? Is there any other relief for those coal holdings? I do have a psychological question about whether Jim Justice can be a 49% player, but we'll see. All of us can grow and mature and be willing to accept our 49% role. But I think that financially and politically, it's probably a win.
MetroNews Statewide Correspondent Brad McElhinny. TJ, I was looking at this deal similarly, but maybe from just a couple of steps to the other direction, and just that being, this was the one, right? Remember, how long has this been going on, Brad? 4 or 5 months now? This was the one. Oh, you're dealing with Omnis Hotels. This is a multi-billion-dollar international company. This is the big leagues. This was going to be the one. And somehow, at the end of the day, here we are, mid-August on a Monday. And as the former governor, current senator likes to say, all's good in the neighborhood today. Somehow, some way, Brad, Jim Justice and his businesses have figured a way out once again.
I feel like I've now covered this cycle of events roughly 4 times or so. And the cycle is that the situation looks dire and it goes on for a while. And then something happens in the background and some other player enters the picture, and eventually all is good in the neighborhood. And then there is a quiet spell. And all of a sudden, there's a problem that comes roaring back. So, I don't know that Kennedy Lewis is in the long-term hospitality business. Don't really know what they want out of it. I hope that as a new corporate citizen of West Virginia, they begin to lay out their vision for the hotel. But I do think it's possible that maybe in a couple of years, we wind up saying, oh, well, they're fighting and they're in trouble now. So we'll see. Yeah. Put your chips aside. But it could be that this is the beginning of another quiet period of the cycle.
People I talked to tell me the hang-up with Omni was valuation. They weren't willing to say the Greenbrier in totality was worth $1 billion, the way Kennedy Lewis has. And so if you are Justice, I don't know that you care. If they keep Kennedy Lewis keeps it 3, 4, 5 years, whatever, and then they flip it, he still has his 49%, but he has it at the valuation that he needs it to be at. Whereas I think Omni wanted far less than that is what they were willing to value it at. So I think that very much matters. And you find the right partner that is willing to meet you in terms of the valuation. And then on your books, at least on your balance sheet, that asset is worth what you want it to be. We'll see. We'll see. But I will say this. Many of us will never run in the circles that Jim Justice runs in when it comes to business deals. And a positive attribute, if you're in that position, is being able to keep a positive outlook on things. And look, I think Justice wears his heart on his sleeve a lot. I think he gets emotional a lot, but I've never seen him necessarily panic. And if you can keep your head while everybody else is losing theirs, as the old saying goes, yours is the world and everything in it. And maybe he deserves credit for that. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Early on in the story, there was a moment, and it was described in the court filings, where Jim Justice and his close advisors and the Rollings, the owners of Omni, and their advisors all met at the Greenbrier, and there was a discussion of a very similar deal where Omni would have the highest percentage and the leadership role, but the justices would have local expertise and be able to be the face of the hotel. For whatever reason, during that day where they were all in the same room, that fell apart. And, I do think that this provides some relief, but, was there an alternative reality where a very similar deal could have been hatched months ago with Omni instead?
You can read Brad's story over at the website, wvmetronews.com. Now we'll look forward to season 3. I don't know if it's season 3 or 4 or 5 or 6, but the next season, Brad, of As the Greenbrier Turns, the political ramifications. We'll save that for another day if you like.
You know how on your favorite shows on streaming services, sometimes it takes a couple of years for the show to return and you've forgotten the details? Just wait a couple of years and we may be back around to this.
Can I binge your articles, Brad? Can I go back and read them all at once?
There's a service called Google and it's free, and you can take a look.
Hey, better yet, TJ, we'll just have Jake put together a compilation of all of Brad's appearances over the last couple of months. And we'll put that up at the website. You can watch them all. You can binge watch them over the weekend. All of Brad's appearances over the last 5 months.
Has my hair gotten grayer?
MetroNews Statewide Correspondent Brad McElhinny. Always a pleasure, Brad. Thank you, buddy.
Thanks, guys.
We'll take a break. Get to some text. 304-TALK-304. This is Talkline from the Cove Insurance Studios.
The WVU Center for Reproductive Medicine is here to help your family grow. 1 in 8 couples has difficulty getting pregnant or maintaining a pregnancy. Our providers are prepared to offer the best in care and comfort with customized treatment plans. Our state-of-the-art facility on Pineview Drive offers a private and convenient location near Ruby Memorial Hospital. To learn more, visit wvumedicine.org/CRM.
Right now, America is hungry for energy, more power, more reliability, and more security. So here's a question worth asking. Why not coal? And why not now? West Virginia sits on one of the most abundant energy resources in the world. Generations of miners, proven infrastructure, and coal-fired power plants already delivering dependable, around-the-clock electricity. At a time when demand is surging and reliability matters more than ever, coal isn't a question mark, it's a solution. Today, there's robust support in West Virginia and Washington to strengthen American energy independence using the resources we already have. So again, we ask, why not coal? And why not now? Because when it comes to powering our homes, our hospitals, our economy, and new opportunities, West Virginia Coal is ready. A message from the Friends of Coal, powering America today and tomorrow.
They say you can't take the lottery with you. But now you can play anywhere, anytime with iPlay, the West Virginia Lottery's official app. From Cooper's Rock to the Greenbrier River, from the bleachers to your living room, iPlay goes where you do. Safe, simple, and always West Virginia proud. Play anywhere, anytime. Download iPlay today. iPlay, the fun, secure way to play, wherever life takes you. 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
A lot of patients come here without much hope, and I think we can give them hope.
We offer a full spectrum of interventions suitable for every kind of person that walks through our door. We do absolutely everything we can to help you achieve your family building goals.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Our commitment doesn't stop when you drive off the lot. With factory-trained technicians and a service team you can trust, we're here to keep your vehicle running at its best for years to come. So when it's time to get your next vehicle, choose the dealership that's been serving the community for generations. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world!
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at wvhtf.org.
At Daniel's Men's Store, exceptional style begins with a curated selection and finishes with a flawless fit. When it's time to buy a suit, Daniel's is here to make sure yours is one of a kind. Discover tailored suits you'll only find in store at Daniel's.
Metro News Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
Couple of texts here, 304 Talk 304. They should get Trump to run the Greenbrier Casino. It'll solve all their problems, says the texter. Remember, the $500 million plus interest gets paid back first. That's $5 million a month. So for the time being, it's 49% of nothing, says the texter. You're the business guy. A lot of that was blacked out, though, right?
Yeah, I went and read the term sheet, and a lot of it was blacked out. The one that was made publicly available, the full term sheet. I don't know if the full term sheet was filed at the court and then they offered the blacked out one into the public record. But, I don't know. There's not enough of the deal there exposed to say, but that's not unreasonable that you would pay back out of the proceeds first. And I'm sure there is a distribution schedule, meaning, Kennedy Lewis gets so much a quarter. Justice gets so much. However they divvy up the profits, I'm sure that's all spelled out in their operating agreement. Again, which we will never see because it's a private deal.
Texter asks, what did the justices get in exchange for 51% equity? Who's paying the debt? Is the debt service coming ratably from the equity ownership? Why would Kennedy Lewis pay itself back? You just answered all that question. 304 Talk 304. You probably could see how this would play out from day one if it's all three parties' historic finance approaches. I share your optimism and say that even though I cannot admire Jim Justice, says the texter.
I think it's about the Greenbrier, too. I mean, I wrote about this today, the history of the Greenbrier. It's a fascinating history that goes over 200-plus years now. And, hopefully, I like to think, maybe romantically, that 200 years from now, when people look back, they'll see the same ups and downs, challenges, wins, defeats. I mean, it's just part of the storied history. So, hopefully 200 years from now, people look back, and it's got a 400-year-plus history.
Celebrate the Mountain State with the West Virginia Lottery's Mountain State Money Second Chance. Play Daily 3, Daily 4, or Cash 25 in-store or online for your chance to win. 40 winners will each take home $500. Visit WVLottery.com for details. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. Back to wrap up hour number 1 in a moment.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
It's good to have options for your family or employees. Rooted in your community since 1979, the health plan is your trusted partner. Get flexible coverage, exceptional support, and competitive rates.
The health plan, we are here for you.
It's the WVRC Media Cares for Kids Radiothon this Thursday and Friday, raising money to support the incredible care provided by WVU Medicine Golisano Children's. From life-saving treatments to the little comforts that help make a child's stay a little easier. Your donation helps keep those programs going. Now, you can text the word WVU Kids to 34984 for a link to donate via credit or debit, PayPal, Apple Pay, or Venmo. It's the WVRC Media Cares for Kids Radiothon supporting WVU Medicine Golisano Children's this Thursday and Friday.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
I think many people have a misconception that all that we do is infertility care, and that's not the case. Reproductive health matters whether or not you're trying to conceive. So we can be dealing with endometriosis, ovulation dysfunction, PCOS. You're getting linked up with all the specialties that you need to optimize your care. And being an advocate for your reproductive health is important. The most rewarding times that I have is when I'm empowering people to take control of their health.
For over 20 years, Dan Cava Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Visit Dan Cava Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world!
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniel's Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
In 1914, the same year the first commercial flight soared and the Panama Canal opened, Greer Industries was born. Herbert and Agnes Greer began in Morgantown, West Virginia, striking the first pick into the limestone formation that would become the backbone of one of the state's great industrial legacies. From the roads we drive on, the buildings we build, and the communities we serve, Greer Industries has been delivering quality for decades. At Greer Industries, we've been improving lives for more than a century.
Texter asks, how can it be all good in a neighborhood when a West Virginian senator Jim Justice has lost majority control of the Greenbrier, now has a $500 million debt. I'll take a quick stab. TJ, you can take a stab as well. One, the lawsuits from Omnis are now, or Omni, got my companies mixed up there. The lawsuits are gone. Those are going to be dropped with prejudice, can't be refiled. You do retain 49% ownership in the Greenbrier as opposed to 0% ownership in the Greenbrier. And you've got a business partner that keeps you at the table. So it could have been a lot worse, I guess is one way of looking at it, Mr. Meadows.
No, I'm with you. I mean, look, he exchanged equity to get rid of debt. And now that whatever that was, that sum is gone. Does he still have debt elsewhere? I know there's issues with various Kentucky companies the senator owns. Yes, but it cleaned up his balance sheet overall, and he's still got to keep 49% of something that has the potential to be really big, especially with new management that turns these kinds of things around. So, look at it however you want. I guess I'm choosing to look at it half full rather than half empty, but you do you. I get it.
It's an optimistic Monday here on the show. How about that?
You got to sleep better at night, do you not?
I mean, think he sleeps a lot better. I think everybody sleeps a lot better with this deal in place.
Yeah.
All right, coming up, we'll get an update on the flash flooding in Kanawha County. CW Sigman from Kanawha County Emergency Management. A little bit later on, what's going on in the USS Abraham Lincoln? It's Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Selango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Meteorologist Joe Hansel here. Continue to be weather aware of all these rounds of this rain. Unfortunately, we did see some record and extreme rain over the weekend in this brutal August so far. Charleston, 4.23 inches of rain just yesterday. That would be a daily record, a new one-day record wettest day for August, and a second wettest day all time in the Charleston record book. Flood watches continue all day today and until 2 a.m. tomorrow in Charleston, but a lot of us have flood watches too. Still watching for that potential of excessive rain leading to additional flooding, and the ground is essentially saturated for a number of spots. We have rain likely today and tonight, then a break, and then another chance of showers I'm watching for Thursday later this week. There's up to a slight risk for widely scattered additional flash flooding that's possible today, and keep eyes on streams and rivers too. Some areas to the northeast, a few spots are posting minor flood stage this morning. There's also a marginal risk of isolated damaging winds that are possible with storms this afternoon, then a little bit of a break tomorrow. Fly saver forecast, it starts at home. Areas of Florida and the Carolinas have concerns with heat. Charlotte, 98 would be a daily record high down there today. From Panhandle to Panhandle, highs near 80. Chance of showers and storms. Eastern areas, 70s in the high elevations. Mid to upper 80s for the eastern Panhandle. Across northern areas, watching showers and storms. Southern areas, watching showers and storms. 87 in Huntington, 79 in Bluefield. Charleston near 85. Still a likely chance of showers and storms after our extreme rain yesterday. Continue to be weather aware. Remember, turn around, don't drown. Tuesday, Wednesday, likely dry. Thursday, showers and storms are likely. And I'll watch for some potential chances of showers and storms for the very end of the week and the weekend.
This is Ben Selango with Selango Law. Selango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Selango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Selango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at selangolaw.com.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
MetroNews Talkline already in progress on a Monday morning, getting the week started. Dave and TJ in the Encova Insurance Studios. Dave in Morgantown, obviously. TJ in Charleston. Jake Link handles the video stream. Sophia Wasik on the audio side of things today. Say good morning once again to all of our great radio affiliates across the state of West Virginia. We appreciate you letting us be part of your day, or if you're watching in on the Metro News TV app, Facebook Live, and YouTube Live, we appreciate that as well. Don't forget, you can download the app, put it on your smart device, smart TV, take it wherever you want to go, and have access to all of the Metro News TV programming. Bottom of the hour, we're going to talk to retired United States Navy Rear Admiral Michael Smith. He will join us to put some context and perspective into the conditions on the USS Abraham Lincoln. Those have come into the spotlight recently. That U.S. aircraft carrier has been at sea since November, and there have been reports about the conditions deteriorating on the aircraft. We'll talk to Rear Admiral coming up bottom of the hour. Also get an update, as I kind of forgot we had a 60-day ceasefire in place. Kind of thought that went out the window days ago. But nonetheless, that's coming to an end. What's the latest on the Middle East and what's going on as the U.S. military was scheduled to, and I guess are having some exercises with South Korea, which is not necessarily unusual. It was the president's reaction to that was unusual. So we'll get into all that coming up as this hour moves forward. Say good morning once again, TJ Meadows in Charleston. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well, sir. Hope you are too. And add this complexity, News Nation, CNBC also reporting within the last hour or so that President Trump is threatening to bomb Oman if it, quote, gets in the way as U.S.-Iran ceasefire expires. So I guess we're going to bomb Oman now, potentially.
And
so there's that.
They're an ally, right?
They're an ally. Yes, they're an ally.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see what Jonathan Savage has to say coming up about 10 minutes from now. Yesterday, over the weekend, heavy rains coming across West Virginia. Kanawha County saw flash flooding yesterday. Water rescues in Charleston. Cabin Creek came up, flooding all over the county. C.W. Sigman is the Kanawha County Emergency Management Director. He joins us on Metro News Talkline this morning. C.W., good morning. Thanks for coming on.
Good morning, and you're welcome.
Give us an update now. How are things in Kanawha County as the week's getting started here?
Well, we're trying to get our assessments done and just see how much damage we really have. So we have folks out in the field today going door to door in those heavy hit areas and trying to get people to get the assessment forms in, and we can get a good handle on it. And we still have over 10,000 customers. That's how many, meter bases, so to speak, people without power in the county. So that's a little discerning, concerned about that. The power company's making great strides, but we're just trying to get back to normal and try to figure out what's going on.
In these early days, CW, as you look at the area across the county, is there any one area that was hit harder than the next?
It seems like Cabin Creek was hit pretty hard. Seems like the rain kind of set in the upper watershed of Cabin Creek, particularly on the left-hand side up toward Republic Energy and areas like that. That seemed to be the hardest hit all the way down Cabin Creek. Campbell's Creek had a lot of problem in the Point Lick area, down on Main Campbell's Creek, and we had some problems out in the Cross Lanes area, like on Delwood Drive and in those areas.
Do you have data yet or numbers on how many water rescues had to be performed?
No, that's going to take us a while to do the compilation on that. A lot of those calls were people who were just stranded in high water, tried to drive through high water. A lot of them refused assistance. And we had a lot of calls. People were concerned because they were blocked in, couldn't get in and out. They decided that maybe it was safer just to stay in their homes. So how many people were actually rescued? I don't have that data yet.
I was listening to the scanner feed online last night, listening to the first responders. Your team did a fabulous job, and of course, we thank them. But I was listening. There was a call to an incident on Bullitt Street in Charleston, which is near the famed Fazio's restaurant. And I'm assuming someone had driven through high water because you had a mother and a child that were in the car, couldn't get the door open, and the water was coming up. I know you say this like a broken record, but just turn around, right? Just turn around.
One of the things that bothered me yesterday, we were going up Cabin Creek on the call, and some people who had got off the turnpike at the Sharon exit had come upon high water, and they were out wading around in the high water. And we had to convince them, not very diplomatically, that was a stupid thing to do and get out of the high water and go to a safer area. People just are not afraid of it, and they should be.
C.W. Sigman joining us, Kanawha County Emergency Management Director. At what point in the day did you realize you were going to have some issues on your hands?
Well, probably a little after 9 o'clock when we started getting the water rescue calls. I was already traveling into the eastern part of the county to check some underpasses and those areas. And the calls started coming in, and they just started coming rapid fire. And I want to echo something you just said about the first responders. When we're up Cabin Creek yesterday, the fire chief at East Bank did a fantastic job at Incident Command. We had South Charleston and Charleston there, a lot of the local fire departments like Cabin Creek and East Bank and Chesapeake. I'm probably missing some people. Kanawha County Ambulance up there helping. So those folks did a fantastic job, and they all worked as one. There was no, I'm in this department, I'm that department. They all worked as one, worked together very well.
You've been around for a number of years organizing emergency response here in Kanawha County. Do you recall a time, some of the images I saw in Charleston's Edgewood district, which is up in the hills off of the west side there, streets turning into rivers essentially, or very strong streams? I don't recall ever seeing that. Do you?
We saw it out in the area, more in the flatlands, as far as up on the elevated surfaces. Don't see it very often. This is by far, well, I'm going to say not by far, but this is not the worst flood we saw in some of those areas. There have been more serious flooding. It's just being so widespread. Usually it's a local area, but like yesterday, it was from the western part of the county to the eastern part of the county. But this is not the floods of record in some of those areas.
CW, we were talking to meteorologist Bryan Hughes back in the first hour. The ground's just saturated. There's nowhere for the water to go, so it decides it's going to run down streets. It's going to run down culverts and ditches. It's just the ground's so saturated, no place for it to go these days.
It can't take anymore. Everywhere you walk, it's soggy. The water table is up to the grass. It's pretty high.
Do you believe the damage will rise to the point where we could see federal assistance? Are you giving people any guidance in terms of thinking that could be a possibility?
That's a possibility. We had a staff meeting this morning, and the folks in the Emergency Management Division at the state level participated, as did the City of Charleston Emergency Management. That's a moving target as far as what the levels are going to be. There's a lot of factors they put into that calculation to whether we'll get individual assistance or public assistance. I don't know if it'll reach that. The folks are out right now trying to figure out how many houses were just affected, maybe water in the basement, water in the crawl space, versus water in the homes or damage, how much damage we got to the house.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question. I know it's very early, but what kind of damage are we talking about here? Destroyed homes or, like you said, water in the crawl space, water in the basement type situations?
I don't know if any houses were washed away. A lot of it depends on what the water levels were in the home. For example, water over the floor rises to one level of damage. If it gets above the outlets, it's another level of damage. It's going to be worth fixing or replace the home or whatever. Mobile homes, if it gets above the floor, is pretty much destroyed. So there's a lot of variables in there, and we're just trying to get that data turned in.
How can the public best help you now? What do you need from us as you go forward in these next couple of days?
What the public can do to help us is get the survey forms done. If you have damage, you can go to our Facebook page. You can go to our X page. I always still call it Twitter. You go to those pages, and there's a QR code. You can take a picture of that, or you can call 211. They're graciously helping us. You can call them. They'll help you do the forms. We have folks out in the field as we speak, going in the hard-hit areas, getting those forms done and looking at the damage. Get those assessment forms in. We'll know how much damage we have, what kind of work we have to do, and if we're going to get a disaster declaration for more assistance.
CW Sigman, Kanawha County Emergency Management Director. CW, we appreciate the update. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Step aside. Be back in a minute. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
Right now, America is hungry for energy, more power, more reliability, and more security. So here's a question worth asking. Why not coal? And why not now? West Virginia sits on one of the most abundant energy resources in the world. Generations of miners, proven infrastructure, and coal-fired power plants already delivering dependable, around-the-clock electricity. At a time when demand is surging and reliability matters more than ever, coal isn't a question mark, it's a solution. Today, there's robust support in West Virginia and Washington to strengthen American energy independence using the resources we already have. So again, we ask, why not coal? And why not now? Because when it comes to powering our homes, our hospitals, our economy, and new opportunities, West Virginia Coal is ready. A message from the Friends of Coal, powering America today and tomorrow.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
It's good to have options for your family or employees. Rooted in your community since 1979, the health plan is your trusted partner. Get flexible coverage, exceptional support, and competitive rates.
The health plan, we are here for you.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
Football season begins right here on Metro News Television. Join us Thursday, August 27th for the 2026 WVSSAC kickoff game. Presented by the Army National Guard. The Cameron Dragons battle the Clay Battelle Seabees live from Blacksville. Don't miss the first kickoff of the new season. The 2026 WVSSAC kickoff game. Thursday, August 27th at 7 p.m. Pre-game coverage starts at 6:30 p.m. Powered by GoMart. Only on Metro News Television.
Need a truck that's ready for work, weekends, and everything in between? Right now at Kanawha GMC, get up to $10,000 off select new GMC Sierra 1500, or save up to $4,000 off all new GMC Canyon Elevations, offering bold styles, advanced technology, and everyday practicality. Come explore our all-new GMC Yukons, built for busy families and big adventures. All this and more at Kanawha GMC in Bridgeport. Shop the world.
At Daniel's Men's Store, exceptional style begins with a curated selection and finishes with a flawless fit. When it's time to buy a suit, Daniel's is here to make sure yours is one of a kind. Discover tailored suits you'll only find in store at Daniel's.
A lot of patients come here without much hope, and I think we can give them hope.
We offer a full spectrum of interventions suitable for every kind of person that walks through our door. We do absolutely everything we can to help you achieve your family building goals.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong. And they're all backed by the peace of mind protection of the industry's best limited warranty. Visit your Honda Marine dealer today and find out why it's more than an engine. It's your time on the water.
.304 Talk 304 is the text line. 800-765-TALK is the phone number. High school football kicks off next week. We'll get the season started with the WVSSAC Kickoff Classic. Cameron at Clay Battelle. Play-by-play coverage on the MetroNews TV app, August 27th. That's a week from Thursday. Download the MetroNews TV app now on your mobile device and smart TV. 800-765-TALK is the phone number. 800-765-8255. You can text the show at 304 Talk 304. We'll get to some of your text coming up. Bottom of the hour, we'll talk to retired United States Navy Rear Admiral Michael Smith about the situation on the USS Abraham Lincoln. Joining us right now, Fox News Radio's Jonathan Savage. Jonathan, good morning. I kind of forgot there had been a 60-day ceasefire in place between the U.S. and Iran. That kind of went out the window many days ago, but we're coming up on the deadline, and the situation is fluid, to say the least.
Yeah, it is. I mean, the deadline is passing with a whimper rather than a bang, because it's been clear for really many, many weeks that the Memorandum of Understanding was not in effect. We have seen attacks by the U.S. military targeting Iranian positions near the Strait of Hormuz in an attempt to degrade Iran's ability to target shipping through the strait. And we have seen very little in the way of diplomacy. Now, today, we have a threat from Iran. A senior Iranian official speaking to Reuters saying that Iran has decided to shift its policy from defensive to fully offensive because of this deadlock. They say that they are going to give the U.S. a matter of weeks to put the Memorandum of Understanding into full effect, to restore that document and all its provisions, or else they will escalate tensions not just in the Strait of Hormuz, but in the wider region as well.
The president telling Fox News on Monday, if Oman gets in the way, we'll bomb the crap out of them. He used another word. Is Oman in the way? Jonathan, what are they threatening to do? How do they play in here?
Oman play into this because they have been negotiating with Iran about the Strait of Hormuz, and even though the outcome of the negotiations has not been made public, a lot of the reporting on this suggests that Oman is entertaining the possibility of the Iranians taking a fee from ships going through the Strait of Hormuz. The way they've been talking is that Iran will manage shipping traveling into the Gulf through the Strait, and Oman will manage shipping going out the way, and they're haggling over what percentage of the value of the cargo Iran should charge for this. Now, none of this has been publicly confirmed, but that is the reporting. And as we know, the U.S. government, many governments around the world, and the shipping industry in general insist that there can be no fees or tolls for safe passage through this international waterway. So that threat, I think, is probably linked to that, the idea that Oman might intercede instead of allowing the U.S. to make sure that there is free shipping.
Fox News Radio's Jonathan Savage joining us here on MetroNews Talkline. Meanwhile, the president also ordering military to scale back exercises with South Korea, saying that it sends the wrong message to North Korea?
Yes. So today, what is called Ulchi Freedom Shield begins. This is the main summer U.S.-South Korean military exercise. Thousands and thousands of troops take part over 11 days, practicing how they would respond to a North Korean attack. It's an opportunity for the two countries' militaries to work together on this. North Korea sees it as a rehearsal for an invasion of their country, even though they are defensive in nature. President Trump yesterday, on the eve of these long-planned exercises, said that he wanted to cancel them, but it's too late to do that. So he'd instructed Pete Hegseth, the war secretary, to substantially reduce the joint military exercises. He said, based on my very good relationship with Kim Jong-un, he said that the exercises send a signal that is totally inappropriate and hostile to a country that has been unthreatening and respectful.
Jonathan, the Blue House is the South Korean equivalent of the White House. What does the Blue House say about all this?
Well, it's important to know that the president of South Korea is someone who has been trying to improve relations with the North and has been rebuffed time and time again because North Korea has shown no interest in improving relations. The Blue House said that they're focusing on President Trump's comments and they hope for U.S.-North Korean talks. So they are viewing these comments as possibly the precursor to a return to diplomacy. They're also saying that they will make efforts for the specific situation on the joint military drills with the U.S. A very vague statement there.
How is this being perceived internationally? How's it being perceived by other countries? Because it's a curious move to be worried about offending North Korea.
It is, but then also you have to think back to the relationship between President Trump and Kim Jong-un, which has been up and down, you might say. President Trump, of course, referred to Kim as Little Rocket Man. He threatened fire and fury upon his country, but then they seemed to make friends. They met. President Trump walked over the border into North Korea. They shook hands. They held 3 meetings, and they held wider talks on North Korea's nuclear program and potential sanctions relief in Saigon, I believe it was, in 2019. Now, those talks came to nothing. Diplomacy faded away, but President Trump has talked about how the two leaders have written to each other, and he said that they fell in love through their letters, even though diplomacy failed. So clearly there's something on the back burner, and there's an ambition here from President Trump to try to get North Korea back to the table.
I'm curious what level of political gamesmanship may be going on here, Jonathan. It's one thing to say you're going to scale them back. We didn't cancel them. We said it was too late. But how big is the scale? I mean, if we're pulling a couple of platoons back here or whatever, 25 guys, it's really not that consequential. Do we know yet exactly what that scale back is going to look like?
We don't. I think that this announcement from President Trump and the Pentagon probably took South Korea and perhaps the U.S. military in South Korea by surprise. There are more than 28,000 U.S. troops stationed there. From the South Korean military, about 18,000 troops were due to take part alongside U.S. forces. So these are complex, they're vast, they're long plans, they involve operations on land, air, and sea, cyber capabilities, command post simulations, and field training. There's so much involved. You can see why cancelling them or even substantially reducing them is quite a big ask. We don't know. We haven't been given details about the extent to which they are being reduced. And perhaps we will never know. But I think the message is very clear that President Trump is turning off carrying out these messages, these exercises with South Korea.
Fox News Radio's Jonathan Savage with the latest. Jonathan, always appreciate it. Thanks for the update.
Thank you.
Fox News Radio's Jonathan Savage. I started to get myself tickled there. Anytime I hear North Korea and diplomacy, you know who I think of? Dennis Rodman. Do you remember that?
I remember that.
Diplomatic
it was crazy
mission?
then. Crazy now. Why are we doing this? I mean, why are we doing this? This is a country where they set their youngsters down, their equivalent of kindergartners, and they play videos of the North Koreans destroying New York City because we are godless, we are warmongers, we are evil, and this is what will eventually have to happen to prevent the evil Americans from overrunning North Korea. They don't like us. Why are we doing this? I mean, I don't get it.
All right. Second time today, I'll take a stab at it. President Trump is either, depending on how you want to look at it, either confident, overconfident in his ability to make the deal, or one would say narcissistic in his ability to believe that he is the ultimate deal maker, that he could make a deal with even North Korea. Now, good, bad, and different, that may be what is driving him. He believes that much. Now, again, you can call that confidence, you can call that cockiness, you can call it narcissism, whatever you want to call it. That's the only rational explanation I can offer you, Meadows. I don't even know if it's a good one.
I call it crazy. I mean, if you talk about a juxtaposition between capitalism and whatever they have over there, pure communism. I mean, why would you? I don't know. Let's go to war with everybody. Why not? Sure.
Well, that's a heck of a foreign policy there, TJ.
Well, it's crazy, and it makes no sense that we would turn our back on a long-established ally like South Korea. I mean, this is nuts.
304-TALK, 304, that is the text line, 800-765-TALK, 800-765-8255. This is Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. It's 11:30, time for a news update from the Metro News Radio Network. Find out what's happening all across the great state of West Virginia.
Today's Metro News television forecast is brought to you by Salango Law. Get results, not excuses.
Meteorologist Joe Hansel here. Continue to be weather aware of all these rounds of this rain. Unfortunately, we did see some record and extreme rain over the weekend in this brutal August so far. Charleston, 4.23 inches of rain just yesterday. That would be a daily record, a new one-day record wettest day for August, and a second wettest day all time in the Charleston record book. Flood watches continue all day today and until 2 a.m. tomorrow in Charleston, but a lot of us have flood watches too. Still watching for that potential of excessive rain leading to additional flooding, and the ground is essentially saturated for a number of spots. We have rain likely today and tonight, then a break, and then another chance of showers I'm watching for Thursday later this week. There's up to a slight risk for widely scattered additional flash flooding that's possible today, and keep eyes on streams and rivers too. Some areas to the northeast, a few spots are posting minor flood stage this morning. There's also a marginal risk of isolated damaging winds that are possible with storms this afternoon, then a little bit of a break tomorrow. Fly Saver forecast, it starts at home. Areas of Florida and the Carolinas have concerns with heat. Charlotte, 98 would be a daily record high down there today. From Panhandle to Panhandle, highs near 80. Chance of showers and storms. Eastern areas, 70s in the high elevations. Mid to upper 80s for the eastern Panhandle. Across northern areas, watching showers and storms. Southern areas, watching showers and storms. 87 in Huntington, 79 in Bluefield. Charleston near 85. Still a likely chance of showers and storms after our extreme rain yesterday. Continue to be weather aware. Remember, turn around, don't drown. Tuesday, Wednesday, likely dry. Thursday, showers and storms are likely. And I'll watch for some potential chances of showers and storms for the very end of the week and the weekend.
This is Ben Salango with Salango Law. Salango Law has earned a reputation for getting excellent results for our clients. With decades of experience handling thousands of cases, we know what it takes to deliver. Proudly voted Best in the Valley for 3 consecutive years by readers of the Charleston Gazette-Mail, Salango Law is deeply committed to giving back by investing in our community. From supporting local programs to making our region a better place to live, Salango Law is proud to be your trusted legal and community partner. Check us out at salangolaw.com.
Hey, I take offense of that.
Why would you do that? Because on midday, the last segment, the first thing I hear when those mics go on is you just coughing, and I'm just like, this guy.
You don't appreciate me giving that show a little ratings boost at the end, a little boom boom?
You coughing directly onto these microphones? No, I don't want it.
I don't know where this came from.
Everybody.
I'm in another room, guys. I don't know.
Everybody.
Hey, Coop,
I'm just watching this.
Hotline on Metro News Television.
MetroNews Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios. Dave in Morgantown, TJ in Charleston. Over the last several days, there have been some alarming reports from the USS Abraham Lincoln. That ship has been at sea since November. Its deployment extended for more than 260 days. It's been part of the force in the Middle East with the war in Iran. Some of the reports coming out that there have been some mental health incidents. A number of sailors have tried to actually jump overboard during the deployment. Also, reports of deteriorating conditions aboard the ship. Joining us on MetroNews Talkline this morning is retired U.S. Navy Rear Admiral Michael Smith. Michael, good morning. Thanks for joining us.
Good morning. Glad to be back.
How long is a typical deployment at sea for an aircraft carrier?
You know, a standard deployment is 6 months. For example, the Abraham Lincoln deployed in November. The previous December, they just got back from a 5-month deployment. So that's a pretty quick turnaround. But generally, it's about 6 months. But we have seen during high periods of combat operations during Iraq and Afghanistan, you could get up to 9 to 10 months. It's very, very hard. It's very strenuous, but it's not unheard of when you're in the middle of a crisis like we are now.
What kind of challenges does an aircraft carrier start to face out of the norm if it goes past that typical time frame?
Well, the biggest problem truly is the uncertainty. Not because normally what happens, you have a clear start date, a clear end date of that 6-month deployment. But when crises happen, and now you're extended another month, or you're extended 2 months, or probably in the Abraham Lincoln's case, you're just told you're extended until they can get the next carrier out there. And so there's stress on the crew that the command has to handle because they just don't know when it's all going to end. And that's probably the biggest challenge the command has. You know, this particular deployment was very, very unique. We have had an extensive supply capability in the Middle East for years. All centered on Bahrain. But when suddenly Iran closed the strait and the Abraham Lincoln was outside the Gulf and Bahrain's inside the Gulf, you know, from the very beginning, they've had huge supply challenges. It's taken a long time to overcome them. They have, but, you know, in the beginning of their cruise, you saw reports of them, you know, running out of fresh fruit and vegetables just because their normal way of getting goods to the ship was ended. So they've had challenges their entire deployment, and then add now to this the unknown they've been going through. And when are we actually going to get home? And all of the stresses they're having related to their families back home who really thought they'd be home, and they have all the challenges. And when are you going to be here, buddy? You know, when are you going to be home and help the family? So all of those contribute to really morale issues that we've always seen on these ships, let alone long-term problems. So this ship's going to be gone much longer than possible. So when it goes back, it has to have an extended availability to repair everything, which just makes the cycle worse because now another ship has to deploy. So there's all sorts of issues that come with extending a deployment of a ship unexpectedly.
Retired U.S. Navy Rear Admiral Michael Smith joining us here on Metro News Talkline. A lot of this sounds shocking to everyday average citizens who have never served in the military, but as a Navy guy, is this shocking? Are these reports alarming?
They are alarming. Really, what's most alarming is the chain of command's response. You know, allegedly, a few weeks ago, they had this town hall, and there were family members specifically addressing senior Navy leadership about the reports they're hearing from their family members, from their spouses, from their sons. And there was a lot of concern that was voiced. What I don't get is how tone deaf the response was. You know, if they're having a mental health crisis, even if they might be, why don't you just immediately address it? You know, so I think what's alarming to me has been the lack of empathy and the lack of leadership that's been presented from the top down. I mean, the president asked about it, says, well, they haven't deployed long enough, or the Secretary of Defense just dismissing it, or the acting Secretary of Navy blaming the media. Why don't you just say, okay, you know what? These are amazing sailors. They're doing their very best. They've been in combat for 250 days between ports. Look, we think they're a great crew, but just to make sure, we're going to send out the very best team of mental health experts the military has. How hard is that? Instead, everybody dismisses it. And that's what's most shocking to me.
So why didn't they do that? I guess it turns to the why. Is that somehow considered admitting failure or showing weakness? Why? I don't understand. You paint a really good picture there and something that seems easy to do. Why not do it?
You know, obviously I don't really know the reason. That if you take a look at the response to alleged problems that may have been caused by the administration, they often just deny it. I just think this is different. This is our military. These are people who are executing brilliantly the war that they have put on the shoulders of these sailors. I don't know why they won't admit it. Admiral Cooper finally went out there, a little bit late, I would say. And then his report is, this is a great crew. Of course it's a great crew. That's the whole point. This is a great crew that's working their butts off. They're doing everything they can to be the best out there. As it gets extended and extended and extended, that is the mental health crisis. Of course you're doing a great job, but there's a cost to it. Why didn't Admiral Cooper bring out that team with him or go a week earlier? You know, if you really cared. So I think that there's just a reaction that I'm seeing from this chain of command to deny, and then everything will be fine. And I think when it comes to the mental health of our sailors, that is irresponsible.
Talking with retired U.S. Navy Rear Admiral Michael Smith, joining us here on Metro News Talkline. Give us an idea, for those of us who obviously have never served on an aircraft carrier or a ship at sea during a conflict, what kind of stresses are sailors under on an everyday basis, and how do you deal with that on an everyday basis?
You know, so I've served on ships in the Gulf. I was on a ship in Desert Storm in the first Iraq War, and we operated in the middle of a minefield the whole time. And so there were mines drifting by us. The ship had to maneuver not to hit a mine constantly. You know, and I've served on the Nimitz going into the Gulf during the second Iraq War. The stresses on the crew that's doing their job is, you know, from a perspective of always needing to make sure that they're ready, and it's not just the aircraft carrier, it's those ships that are protecting the aircraft carrier. They're under constant threat. You know, is Iran going to try and send a missile at the aircraft carrier? They would love to do that. Everyone knows they would love to do that. So you're under this constant stress, if your job is to defend the aircraft carrier, of ensuring you are 100% perfect every second of the day. If you're not in that responsible role, you know in the back of your mind, as you're doing whatever your job is to support the ship, that you may get struck at a certain time. There's nothing you can do about it, but it's a level of stress that's always there. You know, I remember I didn't really even recognize, I was a junior officer when I was on that ship in the minefields. And it wasn't really until the Desert Storm was over and I'm leaving the Gulf that suddenly that pressure goes away. I didn't even recognize it was there. So, you know, that suddenly you realize, all right, I'm not going to hit a mine in the middle of the night. You know, so similarly, those guys are on all of those ships, those sailors are all under that same stress all the time. Let alone, hey, the guys that got to fly the aircraft carriers, the aircraft, you know, the ones that are responsible for targeting. You get one thing wrong in targeting, and we see what happens. We see what the response is. So they feel that responsibility every day. So there is stress upon stress upon stress. It's manageable normally. We train to that. These people have done it their whole careers. So we're not asking them to do the impossible, but we should at least recognize that what we're asking them to do is unique. They are in the middle of a war that was not planned, and they are executing flawlessly. Yes, there might be some stress, and why not make sure they're all okay? That's what I would say.
I was reading a while back a book, and it talked a bit, one of the themes, it went back to D-Day, and it was talking about the attitude of General Montgomery in his conversations with Eisenhower and the various delays that they had experienced because of weather. And, you know, D-Day got bumped a couple of times in different ways. And I don't remember the exact quote, but it was akin to from Monty to Ike, the men will go stark raving mad. They needed to be able to act and know what they were going to do. You could only put up with that level of stress for so long. Given how this has happened in the Strait and what is going through with Iran, and we haven't, some would argue, fully went through with things to end this. It's kind of at a situation of a wait and see. Do you think that plays into what these sailors are feeling, the idea that they're there? Why are we still waiting around? Let's get this over with, and regardless of the result, it will have happened and we can move on.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I can't imagine being on that ship. And again, you don't know when you're leaving. That's one thing, but you don't know when the combat you're doing is going to be over. And the only messages you've got is what your commander-in-chief saying each day. So you do successful strikes. You've blockaded the Iranian ports, and suddenly it looks like there's going to be a deal. And maybe you're like, wow, this is good. We've succeeded in what we needed to do, and now it looks like it's all going to be done. And then the next day, the president says, no, I don't like what they just did. We're going to go back and do this again. And that constant cycling, the unknown of, all right, when is this going to be over? You know, I hold very, very little respect for Montgomery, having studied that myself. Eisenhower was a much better leader at caring for his people and understanding the damages. And, you know, you just don't go no matter what the weather is going to be. So I'm more on the side of Eisenhower but they knew what their mission was. It was land on the beaches, get a beachhead, destroy the Nazis. Everybody was behind that. Why they are there changes every day. And now they're trying to communicate home to their families. You know, at a certain point, they just have to stop listening to that. They just have to execute their mission, which they are doing great. But they all want to know, when's it going to be over? They don't even know why they're there. That changes all the time. So, and all of that really adds to that stress. It's not a clear-cut mission. And when I did Desert Storm, it was easy. Go in, kick Saddam out of Kuwait. We went home to parades. This is completely different. And that impacts them on a daily basis because they know they're doing a great job. They're fulfilling the demands of the seniors above them. But why are they there? If they have to talk to their families, which some of these families have reported in some of these articles, they don't know why they're there. And it just unnecessarily adds to the stress. There's nothing you do about it as far as what's certain. Go and make sure it's not impacting their own mental health.
Retired U.S. Navy Rear Admiral Michael Smith. Always appreciate the perspective. Thank you so much this morning.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Take a break, come back. 304 Talk. 304 is the text line, 800-765-8255, the phone number. CityNet is West Virginia's local internet provider. High-speed, reliable fiber internet is probably right at your front door. Now's the perfect time to connect. Local customer support you can trust, perfect for working from home, streaming, gaming, or running your business. Fast, reliable fiber internet built for everyday life. When it's high-speed internet you need, CityNet.net connects, protects, and perfects. We're back right after this.
Are you ready to reach the finish line of retirement? At the Stike team at Wealth Enhancement Group, we provide comprehensive guidance for retirement planning in West Virginia. With years of experience, we'll draft a plan tailored for your unique goals. Whether you're just starting or nearing retirement, we make the process as simple as possible, easy, and stress-free. Visit wealthenhancement.com/Stike to set up a complimentary consultation and get started on your plan today. Let's work toward your dream retirement together.
It's the WVRC Media Cares for Kids Radiothon this Thursday and Friday, raising money to support the incredible care provided by WVU Medicine Golisano Children's. From life-saving treatments to the little comforts that help make a child's stay a little easier. Your donation helps keep those programs going. Now, you can text the word WVU Kids to 34984 for a link to donate via credit or debit, PayPal, Apple Pay, or Venmo. It's the WVRC Media Cares for Kids Radiothon supporting WVU Medicine Golisano Children's this Thursday and Friday.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
The best selection of WVU apparel is at Daniel's Men's Store. Exclusive designs you won't find anywhere else. Stylish, sophisticated, and unmistakably mountaineer. Shop in store or online at danielsofmorgantown.com.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
For over 20 years, Kanawha Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Our commitment doesn't stop when you drive off the lot. With factory-trained technicians and a service team you can trust, we're here to keep your vehicle running at its best for years to come. So when it's time to get your next vehicle, choose the dealership that's been serving the community for generations. Visit Kanawha Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the road.
We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you. We've got it down to a science, an absolute state of art. We do it all, restoration, cleaning, and reconstruction. When disaster strikes, just pick up the phone. We're Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration, and we're gonna save you.
I think many people have a misconception that all that we do is infertility care, and that's not the case. Reproductive health matters whether or not you're trying to conceive. So we can be dealing with endometriosis, ovulation dysfunction, PCOS. You're getting linked up with all the specialties that you need to optimize your care. And being an advocate for your reproductive health is important. The most rewarding times that I have is when I'm empowering people to take control of their health.
MetroNews Talkline is presented by Encova Insurance, encircling you with coverage to protect what you care about most. Visit Encova.com to learn more.
The Metro News High School Sports Line returns next Wednesday. Fred Persinger, Dave Jekyll, and Joe Mercado will talk to coaches, athletes around the state, discuss the top storylines of matchups each and every week across all of high school sports. Metro News High School Sports Line Wednesdays starting next week, 7:06 to 9 on many of these same Metro News radio stations and the Metro News TV app. 304 Talk 304 is the text line, 800-765-8255. That is the phone number. So Trump's friends with Kim Jong-un and Putin and Orban, but Democrats are communist. What a nut job, says the texter. Guys, we know Trump pulled the East Asian fleet from their post because the Iran war is eating up more resources than they expected. The longer Trump is in office, the more I'm convinced he's a foreign agent tasked with diminishing and destroying the U.S. alliances and global soft power. Nothing good has come from Trump's foreign policy, says the texter. Foreign agent.
I don't know about all that, but I will say if the Strait of Hormuz becomes subject to tolling, which you didn't have before, talk about a can of worms that you're opening up. My goodness, to think that a free international waterway now has tolling, and you have done that to appease someone like Iran, who has a history of never honoring a deal, and we're worrying about their obtaining a nuclear weapon. We're no better off, and we're far worse off than what we were when we entered the situation. That dog just doesn't hunt.
Go back to when we started this, when the situation started. If you were going to pick that fight with Iran, you had to finish the fight. Anything else is a victory for Iran. Survival's a victory. The regime doesn't care right? If you were going to pick the fight, you had to finish it. You had to go in committed to finishing it. And the U.S. has not been committed to finishing that. Yeah.
And look,
here's where we are.
It's a lesson we learned a long time ago. Joe Kennedy understood post-appeasement that it didn't work. And so did his son as a result of how he handled the Cuban Missile Crisis. It doesn't work. You keep giving, you give a mouse a cookie, they're going to want a glass of milk kind of thing. That's what you're getting back to here. What's next? What is Iran going to ask for next that we're not willing to give?
304 Talk 304. I've read many books from people who have escaped North Korea. They make their little children literally watch executions. The school brings the children to the executions, says the texter. 304 Talk 304. They are there to fight Israel's war. That's why they're there. Pretty simple, but no one is allowed to say that in public and surely not on the radio. 11:54. It's Israel's fault. Got to that finally. All right, final break. Back to wrap it up. This is Talkline from the Encova Insurance Studios.
Picture a community where every space tells a story. Those are the communities we're designing at ZLM Architects and Engineers. With a blend of creativity and technical expertise, we design spaces that inspire, innovate, and ignite change. From cutting-edge educational facilities to community-centric gathering spaces, we're committed to improving lives through design. Let us help you shape a brighter future for generations to come. Because at ZLM, it's more than architecture. It's about building your legacy.
Approach your retirement with confidence. With over 150 years of combined experience, the advisors of the Stike team at Wealth Enhancement Group provide advice and wealth management strategies to individuals, families, small businesses, professional offices, and institutions. With the Stike team, you'll have access to an advising team with extensive resources, a client-first mindset, and a passion for helping transform the lives of those we serve. Visit wealthenhancement.com/Stike today and join the team that's dedicated to your success.
You're listening to Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.
A lot of patients come here without much hope, and I think we can give them hope.
We offer a full spectrum of interventions suitable for every kind of person that walks through our door. We do absolutely everything we can to help you achieve your family building goals.
For over 20 years, Kanawha Toyota World has been more than a dealership. We're family-owned, community-focused, and committed to taking care of our customers long after the sale. Visit Kanawha Toyota World in Fairmont. Shop the world.
Leading the efforts to build a stronger West Virginia, the High Technology Foundation has a proven plan to strengthen and diversify our state's economy. The I-79 Technology Park's high-capacity infrastructure continues to attract advanced federal operations that are driving economic growth. This keeps our young, educated residents in the state and brings West Virginians home. The High Technology Foundation, building a stronger West Virginia. Learn more today at WVHTF.org.
You own a boat because you love spending time on the water. Choose the outboard that allows you to make the most of it. Honda Marine's legendary reliability, ease of maintenance, and powerful performance keep you going strong.
I'm Sean Kovich, Mountaineer Golf Coach. When disaster strikes your home, business, or golf game, call the restoration company the Mountaineers call. Panhandle Cleaning and Restoration.
At Daniel's Men's Store, exceptional style begins with a curated selection and finishes with a flawless fit. When it's time to buy a suit, Daniel's is here to make sure yours is one of a kind. Discover tailored suits you'll only find in store at Daniel's.
Celebrate the Mountain State with West Virginia Lottery's Mountain State Money Second Chance. Play Daily 3, Daily 4, or Cash 25 in-store or online for your chance to win. 40 winners will each take home $500. Visit WVLottery.com for details. 18 plus to play. Please play responsibly. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention and say congratulations to Mike D'Antoni, the Marshall legend inducted into the Basketball Hall of Fame over the weekend. Congratulations to Mike and the entire D'Antoni family for the induction into the Hall of Fame. Well deserved for Mike D'Antoni. Also, another sports Tommy John. The Tommy John died over the weekend. He had been battling cancer, been in hospice for a long time, but 288 career wins, and most of those came after the revolutionary elbow surgery that still bears his name today. Should be in the Hall of Fame. Speaking of Hall of Fames, that's another one. Dave Weekley, you can take that mantle up later this afternoon on Hotline, but Tommy John should be in the Baseball Hall of Fame. All right, that's all I got. Anything else?
Write it down. I don't know. I got a lot of thoughts on this thing with Iran. I'll unload tomorrow.
So you've only got like 63 seconds here. So that is a true.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. There was a time, we had the Department of Defense. And that's what we did. We were here to defend our homeland. We were here to take up causes. If someone brought us a fight, we were ready. Now we're the Department of War. And it feels like sometimes we're looking more for a fight.
I thought you were going to be the true showman there and leave them wanting just a little bit more. Leave them with that cliffhanger.
No, I didn't finish my full thought. We'll get into it tomorrow.
Follow the news of the day over at the website, wvmetronews.com. For the crews, Sophia, Jake, and TJ, I'm Dave. We'll talk to you tomorrow morning, 10:06. This is Talkline on Metro News, the voice of West Virginia.